It's your girl, Miss Sinclair. I want you to check out my tutorial as we go on and get these 411 apples, baby. Those quad on apples started. I'm going to show you how to make your alcoholic infused apples. And then we're going to twist it up a little bit with some unicorn apples. Check us out, baby. Check us out. Hey, my creative crafters. So today I'm gonna start my tutorial off with my candy apples. I have an order of candy apples to do for graduation. So I'm going to start off by boiling my candy apples, and of course, you know, we have to let them sit overnight. And basically letting them sit, you just want to cool the apple so that the candy will stick to the apple. So what I've done thus far is I've started my boil. So I have, this is my candy apple pot, and if you want to get a pot, just hit me up, subscribe to my channel, and I can get you a pot. I can sell you a pot. So I have half a pot of water, and I use half a cup of vinegar because I want to make sure that I'm getting all of the wax off so that my candies are ripe, and not only that, the candy sticks to the apple. Okay? And I basically have already gone through and pulled the stem out of my apples. I have a paper towel that I will use that has been damped with vinegar already. And so after I wipe my apples off, I sit them to the side, and I let my water and vinegar boil. Sometimes I will put like a teaspoon of baking soda in it, but I am realizing that when I use the baking soda, the apples don't taste as good. So this time I'm not putting baking soda in my water to boil. This is just my water and my vinegar. And after we get these babies boiled, I'll come back and we'll finish it up. Okay, as you can see, my water is boiling. So we're going to go ahead on and start dipping our apples. I use my tongs to get my apples out. So this pot holds 5. So we're just going to drop it in there without trying to burn yourself. 2. This pot holds 5 apples. So we're going to drop 5 apples in here. Then I go and I submerge each one of my apples 10 seconds. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You take your tongs and pull it out. You want to submerge it because you want to make sure that you're getting all of the wax. Okay, now we're going to start wiping the apples down, putting the sticks in. So I'm going to show you how to clean your apples and get them ready for dipping. Then we'll come back with the mixture. So I still take a dry cloth because you want your apples to be dry. You don't want them to have any moisture because if they're moist, you mix in sugar with water, so it's not going to stick. So I've already done half of my apples. I'm going to show you a quick process of how I clean the apples. The white stuff that you see on it, that's the wax from the apple. So you want to make sure you're wiping all of that off. And you just want to press firmly. You don't want to bruise the apple because if you bruise it, it's going to cause a dent. Well, not a dent, but it'll cause a spot in the apple and it'll make the candy leak on the outside. So for all of my apples, I'm cleaning them. You see how pretty and shiny that baby is? Woo! Hey, you better get it, girl. So we'll get all of that off. And I'm doing that for the entire batch of apples. And we're going to apply the sticks. Okay, so now that the apples are cleaned, we're going to apply the sticks. So let me position my camera so you can see how we add the sticks. Okay, no, well, okay, hold on. So with the apple, you want to take the apple. I put mine at the bottom of the apple, and you just want to press firmly without bending your stick and get your apple in. Once you get your get your stick in. Once you get your stick in, you want to make sure you wipe off any excess moisture that may be at the tip of the apple so that it doesn't cause your candy to melt once it meets that moisture, okay? Okay, so now we're going to do our mixture. Our ingredients are sugar, Karo syrup. I like the clear syrup because if you're adding color to your apples, this clear is not going to grab any other, it won't grab any other base of color that's in your coloring. Water. I use bottled water because it's just a little healthier. And your food coloring, and I use the white Lorian's color, but for food coloring, because we're just doing a low budget coloring, Lorian's has a good brand of food coloring, but with your other coloring for your color for your apples, I'm just going to simply use a store-bought brand. But anytime you use the gourmet colors, it's always going to give you a richer color. And then I have my measuring cup and my candy thermometer. Okay? So, today I'm going to do what's called the Quad Dos. That's the 411 apples. That's 4 parts sugar, 1 part water, 1 part syrup. So I'm going to get that mixed up, and we're going to move the camera to the stove. Okay, I've added my sugar, and the Karo syrup is already marked for 1 cup. So I'm just going to pour until I get that 1 cup. And what I like to do with my temperature spoon, you want to make sure you have a temperature spoon, a spoon that can hold that temperature. I like to go on and mix that in really, really good. Okay, my video skipped with me adding the water, so I've added my water, and I'm mixing this up really, really good. I'm gonna get it real smooth, and I do mine over medium heat. So the stove is not on. I'm gonna, after I get this mixed up really well, I'm gonna add my heat. Just want to make sure that you get it smooth, maybe like a cake mixture. So I'm going to turn on my medium heat. You're going to make sure your thermometer is at the bottom of the mixture. Not on the pot, but on the mixture. And we're going to let this get to 300. Once the temperature reaches 300, then we're going to do something else. Okay, now you can see the mixture is beginning to boil. So I normally just make sure that it's not sticking. To the bottom of my pot. See how clear it is? What your uno, baby? Okay, so now that my temperature is rising a little bit, I'm going to go on and add in my flavor. And I'm using the Lorians. These are strawberry lemonades. So I'm going to add my lemon. And I like to use a whole cap, a whole bottle, so to say. That's my lemon. And then here's my strawberry. So I add that. Mix it in really good. It smells good too, y'all. And if you notice, it changes the mixture a little bit. But we're going to go on and mix it in. And we're going to let this cook in the mixture till it gets to its temperature. And we're almost there. You see how thick that candy is? Okay, we're right at 300. Before I take my mixture off, I like to go on and add my white. I just do a few squirts. We're going to turn this white. And we're going to remove it from the heat. Pull my thermometer out. Y'all be careful. This stuff is extremely hot. And if it gets on your stove, it's hard to get it off. Okay? So we're going to turn that heat off. And now I'm just mixing in my food coloring. And they want blue, so we do a couple squirts of the blue. Let me get it back over to the stove so you can see it. And what the white food coloring does, it stops it from being transparent, so you won't see the apple. The white is going to coat the apple and it's going to assist in giving you that blue that you want. So I'm going to get these blue. There we go. You want to mix it in really, really good. Okay, like so. Now that we've gotten our candy mix, now what we're going to do is we're going to tilt our pot. You need to tilt it like so. And you're going to take your apples. You're going to dip. And you're going to turn. Turn. Bring it up. Give it a tap. Scrape the bottom onto the mat. Dip it completely. Cover your whole apple. Tap, tap, tap. Scrape that bottom. Bring it to your silicone mat. If you don't have a silicone mat, you can always use parchment paper. Parchment paper is good. Tap, scrape the bottom, plop. Okay? Let's see if I can move this camera around so you can see a little better. We're dipping, turning, tap, scrape your bottom, place. So when using the silicone pad, your apples, if you want to, you can go on and do whatever. But I let my apples sit, I let my apples sit at least 4 hours before I put them in the bag or box, whatever I choose to use. Okay? Okay, now that the apples are done, I'm going to show you how to clean your pot. So what I've done is just basically put hot water in here, and we're just going to let this boil, and it's going to boil all of the candy mixture down. Okay? Okay, so now that the water has come to a boil, what I normally do is, and this is just me, you do what you want to do, but this is how I clean my pot. I turn on my garbage disposal, and I pour all of that water off. So you have to remember it's candy. Okay, so see there's still some in the bottom. We're going to go back with some more hot water, and we're going to boil the rest of it out. Okay, so now that my apples have set, I'm going to go ahead on and put them in the bags and get them packed for my client. So you can see how easy they slide right into your bag. Up off the mat and into the bag. And there you go. And you want to put the little tie on it.